So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, as you know, I'm on holiday, so there's no massive releases, so I thought I'd record this one sort of like biggish video to do like as a somewhat my introduction to C# and how I learnt. So I'm going to show you a quick thing that I'm going to build. I'll build a quick thing in front of you and talk you through things you can add, things you don't need, where you can edit, what things do, and how it is. So this thing is a basic sort of like guide the raid sort of thing. So throughout your stream, people can suggest people to raid. So people can suggest the same person. So two people can suggest the same person. Especially that could be good for if that person's doing a 24-hour, a birthday stream, celebration stream, whatever. But the same person can't suggest the same person. And then at the end, you'd pick one randomly and you could raid them. So I'm going to show you how it builds. It's 4 actions. 2 of them are really simple, 2 of them are, and we'll just go through it. I'll just crack on and see where we go. So, let's go over to Streamerbot. So here's my Streamerbot, here's my chat. Very basic, very note, you can't really see out. So, what we'll do, we're going to add an action. And this is going to be called start. We're going to add another action. And this is going to be called add. What I'm going to do, just so we can go down, you won't need to do this, but just for sake of this, I'm going to number them. So we can add up like an order of operations. Add. Number 3 is going to be pull. And then number 4 is going to be clear. So as I said, adding them can be triggered by channel points, or it can be done with a command. Pull will be triggered by a command by you doing it as the broadcaster, and you can trigger start and clear with the starting and ending stream, because that's what you can do. But that's neither here nor how you trigger them is irrelevant. Let's get the coding a bit done. So let's start with number 1, start. What we need to do is create a list. So if we go over to here, I'm going to add subaction C#. And as you see, this is what pops up when you do C#. You see your main code goes here. This is where you're going to be typing. So what you're going to do is type, first of all, we're going to type list, because this is the first thing we're going to do. And this is like level 2. This is something, list took me ages to get my head around. But you do a list, and then you're doing the more than less than signs, and you're going to tell it what type of list it is. If it's just numbers, you can put int in there, but we're using usernames, so we're going to put string. And what are you going to call this list? We're going to call it guide the raid list equals new list, and then again we're going to have to declare what it is. It's a string, and then because it's empty, we can just put and that. Yeah, it's fine. So because list is something new, it's not basic done, so you need to add a reference for this. So up here, if you type in using system collections generic, it's actually now compile. It does. If it don't compile, you may need to add system.car, because that's where the collection reference is. And if you're building something else and it says something completely different, like dictionary or whatever, then just Google it. And do I have the Google page open? It was not list. Let's do that. Not exist. So normally you can just Google it, list, and on here it's list, and it tells you what namespace you need. Normally that's what you need to add. So as I with system.collections, sometimes it'll tell you the assembly, so the DLL you might need, but some like that you don't need that. It's just system.car for this sort of thing. So list is sys.collections. That's it. Just Google it and you'll find it. Just keep, it will be there. And if you really get stuck, ask on the Discord. Someone will help you. But normally it'll normally tell you anyway. So let's crack on. So then what we do, we're going to open this list. So then we're going to set it. So we use CPH, which any sort of like Streamerbot related commands or OBS related commands, I can always start with pretty much CPH. So this is set global bar, and then we're going to give it a string. So we're going to put quotation marks, and we're going to give it a name. So guide the raid list. And we put comma, and then we give it the value. So the value is guide the raid list. So this now has to match this. So what we'll do, just to show you, we're going to copy this and paste it in there, and then we're going to put true, because I always like to put true. It don't matter because you're going to unset it at the end anyway, so it don't matter that it persisted or not. But if Streamerbot crashes midstream, then I think if it weren't persisted, you'd lose everything. I always put persisted, so it's just something I like to do. People say, oh, I don't want all these variables. Like, well, delete them after you've used them then. And then anyway, we're going to have something feedback when the list is open. Here, in that same message, if you were like, didn't do it until you just start chatting, you could just be chatting this over, right, I'm going to open the list for raids. You could do it at the end of your stream if you said, okay, I'm ending in 10 minutes. Get your suggestions in for raids. You could list it open, and then you could type in there, use, add, and then followed by a name to add someone. You do that, for example, and that's what you can do, and that's all you need to do. So this compiles, this saves, and that is starting, or that's starting done. Let's go to clear, because this is another little simple one. C#. So what we're going to do here is we're going to unset, we're going to say cph.unset global bar, and we're going to give whatever that variable called it, which in this case was guide the raid list, and then again semicolon at the end. I want to show you something other than this. cph.send message list. So I'm going to just press compile now, and as you can see down here it said line 8 expected a semicolon. So if we look at line 8 here, so it says semicolon. So we'll put a semicolon at the end of that, and it will say that. So it will tell you if things are wrong, but that's how that's done. Nice and easy. I'm looking at my notes, sorry, I keep looking at this, my notes are. So I'm going to stay on compile. The next one is slightly longer, and this is add. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to have to add a sub-action first to this, which is in add sub-action Twitch, get user info for target, and we're going to say from input. And then we're going to add a C#. So again, we're going to have to get using, because we are going to use a list. And then what we're going to do is start adding our code. So what we're going to get in the user, so we want to know who redeemed it. So var user equals args, square brackets, a quotes, and then user, and then at the end of that we're going to put to string, then number brackets. And that should compile. Yeah, that's one line compile. Next we're going to do a check. We're going to check if whoever's redeemed it is a VIP, a mod, or a sub. And we do this with this, so this line, bool, VIP equals bool.parse, then args is string. So what I'm going to copy this line, because don't be afraid to copy and paste things to make your life easy. I'm going to paste it 3 times. I'm going to change VIP there to sub, and this to mod. Then in here we're going to say is sub is subscriber. Here is mod is moderator. The VIP sub moderator. Note that these variables, especially these or any other variables I'm going to use, are all in what we call camel case. So the first letter is always lowercase, and then after that you can put your capitals wherever you want. But your first letter is always. So as you see, to make it easy, is VIP. So is I is lowercase, but then the B is uppercase, and that's how I always write. That's how you should write all your variables. So then we say if mod or sub or VIP. So these here will turn true false because they're bools, and then we're saying mod. So if it's true, if they're a mod, it'll return true. And then say if mod is true, sub is true, or VIP is true, then it's gonna here do next step. And then we're going to write else. And here, this is the I'm going to say CPH. This is when they're not. So this means they don't have permission to do it. So we're going to send message. You cannot do that. You can put that however you want. If you want to have username in there, you could put user plus. You cannot do that. You make sure you put a space in front of the U if you do a new word, because you'll notice when you don't do it that's what it looks like. So anyway, so that's the first step. We're checking that. Now we've got to check if the user you put in is a real user, so that people can't add, just trash in there. So we're going to do object target. And we'll just declare that we're going to have this object that's target. Then we're going to say bool again. Target exists. So notice I did capital lowercase t, capital E equals. Then we're going to do args dot try get value. I know the camel case goes out the window when you're looking at like methods and stuff like that, but keep your variables all. So target lowercase t, user capital U, comma out target. So that means if it pulls a target user, then it's gonna get this and it's gonna spit out. But this is gonna say if it did or this bool will tell you, did I get one or did I not get one? Yes or no. So then we're gonna do if target exists. So this is saying if it's true, do this, then else we're gonna do this. So if it does exist, we're gonna. This is the last check, is it? No, it's not. We're gonna pull a list. So list again, string. So we're telling this is how we're gonna get a list. guide the red list. Notice how G is capital, then T, R, L are all uppercase. Oops, no. So it's list guide the red equals, cph.get global bar. Like say if you're not following along, typing along, this code will be in there, but you can see what I'm doing as I type. Then we're going to tell it. Then when you pull a global variable or you pull a user variable, you've got to tell the C# what you're pulling. So what we did here is we declared that we're going to get a list, but then in C# we said that you got to read this as a list. So that I know it's kind of two ways, but I could put object there and then I could add this as int or something like that. You can't tell it what it is. I don't know how else to explain it. We're pulling that, and we can say true again. I don't know if you need it, but that's how I like to do it. Format file, still compiling, and then underneath this line, we need tab. I'll open it out so you can see everything. I'm going to say if guide the red list dot contains target plus added plus that doesn't make sense. So actually user added target, sorry. So all that's going to do is add, say, user added target, and you can add that to the. It's going to see if it contains it. If it does, then actually no, I put the exclamation point there. So this is not. If it doesn't contain it, then this is where it will now add to list. Else, not add. So we're going to fix this one first. cph.send message user plus you have already added space plus target. So just format it again. Format it keeps so you can see how things are doing. You know that. Already fixed this. So in this else here, where we've got notes, this is where we've got invalid inputs. So we're going to just say cph.send message invalid input. It's okay if you're not following. I'm going to talk you through the whole code once we've wrote it. So here we're going to work out how to add the list. So we do guide the red list dot add, and what we'll do, we're going to add what we're checking for. So we're going to say add user plus added target. So what you need, whatever's in this needs to be in this, because that's what adds to the list and that's what it checks. And then what we'll do under here, we're going to do cph dot set global var again, guide the raid list, guide the raid list, and true. So what you need to make sure here is that, that this is equal to this, and this is equal to whatever you called it when you did the start, because that is the variable name. That's your global variable name. You need to make sure that's the same no matter what. This here needs to be the same as this, this, and this. So as you can see where the nice similarities are. If something's wrong, let's just put a G in there. It should tell me that it doesn't exist in the context, so you know that something's not right. Because if you don't declare something, it's not going to work. Anyway, compile that compiles. So we know now we've added that person list and we've saved it. Now we're going to say, now we want some feedback. cph dot send message. So we're going to say user plus space added plus target plus string. So you can see that I'm putting added in quotation marks with the space either side, so that it writes that in chat. And then obviously this one, so starts with a space, then to the rate suggestion. You can call this whatever you want. Compile, and then it will return true. So let's see if we can view it all at the same time. There we go. Okay. So now what this does, type on top. So this line, this pulls in the user. So whoever redeemed it is going to get that name. Then it's going to check if they're VIP, if they're subbed, or they're moderator, and it's going to check that. If you said, well, I will only want mods and VIPs to be able to do this, then you can just delete sub out of it. Just delete the sub, so it's sub's not there. If you don't want VIPs to do it, or you just want subs to do it, just write sub, whatever you want. If you want it so that people are subbed and VIP, you could get rid of mod and then do and. Or if you want to make sure the sub and the mod, if the mod and subbed or VIP and subbed, then you could do something like this. You could do and sub, and yeah, you put them in their own little bracket, and then you do the same here. So you put and there, and you put them in their own little bracket. That's it. Saying if the mod and sub or the sub and VIP, then do it. But we'll just put them back to how it was. So it was mod VIP. So if there are any of them, then it'll carry on. If not, it'll just say you cannot do that. Next, it's going to declare the target. So we're going to try to find if the target exists. This is what these next two lines do. Try to find out if whatever you put in is an actual user. So that's what this does. If it doesn't get a target username, it's going to return false. Therefore, when it goes to this, it's not going to do that, and it's invalid input. If it's true, and the target can get a target name, it's going to say true, and then it's going to carry on. Then it's going to get the list. It's going to pull the current list, and you can just check if that person has suggested that person. That's what this does. If it doesn't contain username added this person, then it's going to carry on. If not, you can say you already added them. Nice and easy. And then that's when it adds them. This is where it saves the list now, and this way it outputs a message to chat. And then because it's done this if, it's not going to do this else, it's not going to do this else, it's not going to do this else, and it'll return true. So either way, once it's done the if, it'll do the else, then it'll return true, and it'll just keep going down. And that's how that one works. Nice and easy. compile, save. Cool. Now, the next one, the last one, is the pulling. So we're going to do add C# code, and again, we need that using system.collections.generic. And we're going to put our code here. So what we're going to do is, like last time, we're going to pull the list. So in the old one that you just did, you can copy and paste it, save you typing it out again, and we'll just paste it like that. And then what we're going to say is if, so this one, I should say list. If guide the grade list double equals 0, so you literally tell it to compare. No, guide list.count, sorry. I know I missed some off. Equals 0. Then I'm going to say cph.sendMessage list is empty. Else, and then this is when we're going to pull our list. So we're going to do random capital R, we'll call it picker because we don't know what this is called, equals new random number brackets close. And then we say int I equals equals picker dot next capital N open brackets 0 comma, and then we're going to get this count again. So copy this and then just paste it in here. I mean, you could declare this before and then just so you would always put a val in it, but this way it works. And then we'll do that. So we've now got a count. Then we're going to say string message equals guide the grade list square brackets I. So what's that telling you? Once it's picked one, it's going to find one on the list. So let's say there's 10 on the list. It's going to find the 6th one, because that's what's randomly picked, and it's going to work out what it is. Which we know it's going to say a username added this name. So what we need to do now is say message equals message dot replace added, and then what was asking is you take the word added that's in there and we'll change it to was added by. Now you can put this whatever you want. This is what when you test to show you testing, you could say what added to the suggestions by this person. Even though if it's someone who's been added by multiple people, but we're going to leave it as that for now. And then what we do is send that message, cph.send message, and in brackets do message. Because you're declaring message as a variable, you can just type message in format like that. So one thing I will make sure is anything you type, make sure like the colour of the text is the same, because if something's not the right colour, then you may be done something wrong. But generally, I mean, I'm going to post this code so you can look at it anyway, but this is how it's been done and compiled. So we've done all the codes now. We've done all the codes. We're going to do commands, and we're just going to quickly add some commands. So add, let's add clear is clear, pull is pull, and start is start. Okay, let's open my OBS. And what we're going to do is do start. And it's telling me this is open. So here we are in OBS. I made a little bubble. It didn't compile. So I went back to check my codes. And it said I was missing a little semicolon in the start. So, but I'm assuming that, well, we spoke about that. It will say if you need it or not. If it's not there. So we're going to do start. Then, as I say, that's what we typed it in. And let's do add live server 74. Again, that's not right. So it sends it to a dictionary. So let's look at Streamerbot again. It just compiled it. It compiles. Just spell live server one. You know what? Let's just make sure that I've done this without guide the raid list. Add guide the raid list. Okay, that's right. Let's start moderator on. Sub. It's not subscriber. Sorry, that's my error. Is subscribe. See? And now add live server. Live server being added to the raid suggestions. Confused cat. And added to the. You know, if I try to do cat again, I shouldn't have had cat twice. You know, I've recorded this so many times. I was idiot. Why is this not right? Okay, so again, like I said about errors, you have to make sure that these two match. For me, they didn't. That's why it was breaking, which is good. So now it shouldn't allow me to. You've already had cat. Cool. So even though I had cat when I set kill times, it's now stopped me adding cat. Now let's try add someone random. Invalid input. Now let's do a poll. So we can poll someone. So as you see, I added the spaces right in my poll. So space there, space after by. What before wasn't after by. So if I do that again now, I do poll. See how it looks now, and then we do clear. This was clear. Now we do poll. She said this was empty. What this is empty? Okay, so what's the log saying now about that? Always look at your log. So it'll normally say no objects reference, so it means that something's not right. So we're going to do poll. Did I get that done right? Guide the raid list. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Sorry. Start and then poll. List is empty. there you go. So I will try edit this down with a few bits, but I might just upload this as it is because this is just a straight out raw video of me trying to code something and showing people how I did it, how I ever checked and all that. So let's just do a quick wrap up. So there you go. So I'm gonna actually just upload this video as is. I'm not even gonna edit it. I'll make sure. I don't think I put alt on screen. That shouldn't have done, so it's fine. But that is how I code things, and constantly pressing compile, constantly checking things. Easiest way to check is do that. I will put this code below. If it will fit in the description. I don't think it should be that big, but if not, it'll be on the Discord. And I'll release this video. I'll probably take a thumbnail like this just because I can't be bothered getting my green screen out. But other than that, again, if you have any questions, ask on the Discord about C#, stuff like that. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and if you see someone who asks a question that you know the answer to, do offer your opinion as well. And that's how we all grow. So this will probably be the only video I do for a while, but it's going to be a long 30-odd minute video. I know it's going to be long, and I'm sorry, people who won't watch it, but if you're still here now, then you're amazing. But hey, it's just how I code. I can't stream, and I will normally do this on stream and show people, but this is how we code. And I'm not going to edit this actually. I thought I was going to edit it, but I'm not. But anyway, this is the longest wrap up ever. So until next time, I will see you all later.